Welcome back to Rune Labs, the place to stay up to date with all of our player-created content. This week we've got updates on dragons, a winner for our February poll, and big updates on the Rune Labs site. Plus, we've got heaps of JMods sharing their favourite suggestions from this month's large content criteria. Phew! Whilst I take a quick breather, why don't you take a look at how things are coming along with January's Rune Labs winner.
You're probably aware that the first Rune Labs poll finished recently. The winner of that was the Adamant and Rune Dragons, and what came second was Slayerbound, and we're going to work on both of those. We've actually been chatting to the people who submitted the ideas in the first place, try to get them involved in some design decisions, but also how they might want to be kind of included in the content.
We'd really like to include you in the content somehow, and it was just how we could do that. I've got some ideas, but I wanted to...
That's a good question, really. I don't know how to include that.
We're only working on the dragons at the moment, but it's really early doors. We're kind of talking over the design, having a few meetings, but also we are doing some concept artwork. Our original plan for the dragons was actually to locate both of them in Brimhaven, but after talking to players on a recent live stream, we did a poll on it, for example. They decided that Kessy was their preferred location for the Rune Dragons, so we're actually going to separate them into two different locations. Slayerbelt will be coming out at the start of June. You can also expect dragons in June, and because the third place in the Rune Labs poll was this close to Slayerbelt, it was the farming timers, we've also decided to do work on that too, and you can expect that a little bit after June.
There you have it. We might even get to see an unexpected bonus update. Yesterday also saw the end of February's polls, where Lodestone modifications just managed to bring home the victory. Over to Mod Chris L to give us a little more information.
Now the Rune Labs poll has ended, we're going to be looking at lodestones. The guys are working on the design for that right now, and we're thinking we have two sort of pools of resource. One is going to be energy built from divination energy and generic runes. The other is going to be lore runes, because that's really teleportation related. And they'll form the way that you teleport instantly to the lodestones. We're also looking at potentially adding a Keldgrim lodestone. That was quite high up in the Rune Labs threads last month, and we're thinking it should be easy enough to tack that in as well.
We're not just looking at past winners here in the lab. This week, we're also working on a number of changes to the Rune Labs site, which should make it even easier to find the suggestions you want to support.
One of the new features we've added to Rune Labs is the ability to search your ideas. A lot of players gave us feedback that they couldn't find the ideas we were looking for, so we've added a nice search box on the top of the overview and ideas list page to make it easier to find the ideas that you need to read. Some of the other features we've added to Rune Labs include the ability to sort and filter ideas by when they were created and how popular they are. This makes it easier to find the idea that you're looking for and that you want to support. We're constantly taking on player feedback of ideas we could add to Rune Labs to make your browsing experience better. These include increasing the prominence of the status of ideas and possibly adding free-to-play access. Also, with the upcoming forum update, we've added the ability for you to link from your forum thread directly to your idea. This makes it a lot easier for players to find your suggestion.
I know what you're thinking. It's all well and good having this search feature, but what am I supposed to be looking for? Well, I'm glad you asked. We've dashed around the office and asked some familiar faces which of this month's ideas they've got their eye on.
I'm going to be supporting the Underwater Ruins by Fruitclover because it opens a new area with potential for bosses, a quest line and slayer monsters, and that's why I'll be supporting the Underwater Ruins.
This is an update that my team will be working on, so I'm supporting God Sagas, which was suggested by Lethal Intent because it's something I've wanted to do for ages. It'd be really cool to take control of the gods and see just how they got all that power.
I'm here to support the Rune Lab suggestion of Rite of Passage, which has been suggested repeatedly by SweetHack and many of his followers. Rite of Passage will be an interesting new story. We'll get to go to a place that we've not been to before, a world made of broken islands and constant raging storms. We'll learn about the Aviancy we don't get to know much about. We'll learn about Armadil. It'll be really cool.
Wouldn't it be great if agility training was a little less routine and a little bit more action? That's why I'm backing King Clucky's idea in Rune Labs for an agility rework. Let's put the agile back in agility. Boom!
That's about it for this week, but remember, if you've got an idea that you want to see make its way into the game, there's still time to submit a large update idea for this month's poll. Now, large updates are things like Araxor or the Broken Home quest, so there's lots of space there to come up with something awesome. Maybe even a little less scary. See you next time.